Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and very good late evening wherever you guys are. This is Paresh Motiwala. I'm from Boston, and it's lovely 4 a.m. here. And Hamid is in the lunchtime in Tehran somewhere. So today we are going to be speaking about how to manage the SQL Server farm via SSMS. And yes, you can do that. And we must always thank our sponsors, that is Microsoft, Quest, Idera, and SentryOne. And of course, Hamid, who is a great speaker himself, and he's an MVP and has like 20,000 accolades to his. As to me, I'm a leadership team for four past groups. Two of them are virtual, which is the DBA group, and the professional development group, two groups there. And we run two other groups in Boston called the New England SQL Server User Group and the Boston Business Intelligence Group. So between the four of them, I kind of affect the lives of about 40,000 database professionals around the world. And I work as a database administrator manager or a DBA manager in a company called Nuance Corporation. That's about me, but Hamid, can you click onto the next slide, my friend? Hamid? Yeah, can you click the next slide? Yeah, okay, cool. Yay. So 9 years of experience, huh, Hamid? This is awesome, man.
Actually, it's going to be 10 years. Yeah.
You need to update the slide. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
Next, please.
Okay.
There should be about, I think, 7 or 8 more slides. Yeah.
So I think this is the time that I need to start my session. Yeah, am I right, Paresh?
I think there should be 7 or 8 more slides there. So.
Because this one is already started.
Okay. If it's not, then go ahead and start. I don't think it's going to be. Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.
Self on mute as well.
Okay. Hi, guys. I mean, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as Paresh mentioned. Today, I'm going to talk about the SQL Server farm management. I've seen a lot of companies, especially, I mean, those giant enterprise companies that they are having lots of SQL Server instances within their networks. And most of their DBAs, they get confused and they are going to use a lot of different softwares or some scripts. Some of them, they don't know how to use the software and do the scripting. They are just using the SSMS, but again, they are not familiar with SSMS and SQL Server features. They don't know how to manage their SQL Server farm. Then after that, they complain that why the configuration is different, why they cannot manage the jobs, agents, or let's say we request them, okay, give us the top 10 weight stats per each instance. They don't know how to do it. They will say, oh, wow, that one will take a lot of time. We need to keep on logging to each SQL Server instance and get the result. So in this session, I'm actually going to introduce you 4 features of SQL Server Management Studio, which you might find it in different applications or softwares, but SSMS is already having it since, if I don't mistaken, year 2008. So just imagine that in your company you have SQL Server 2008, 2008 R2, and mixed with 2012, 2014, and 2016, 2017, and even 2017. Right now we can have it on Linux as well, and of course on Windows as well. So how will you're going to manage all of it with single point of contact? And you just sit behind your laptop or your workstation and you can easily query each of these servers without any issue. So but prior going to the next slide, I would like to inform you that my session is mostly on demo. So the slide is just for showing you just preview about the session. Okay, so this is the challenges that I have found that most of DBAs, they are going to have it in the SQL Server farm management. Agent and jobs deployment and synchronization. Some of the jobs like system database backups, should be synchronized. Means if you are developing it and you deploy on every single instance, it needs to run equally. It needs to, let's say, update or upgraded equally. So this is one of the challenges that lots of DBAs, they are facing it. And the other one is the database policy compliance. Let's say you want to make sure that all the databases in production server needs to be in full recovery model, or you want to have it set maximum limit, the set maximum size for the LDF file, or you would like to set it that the log file growth should not be by percentage in production server. All the things like policies, but because a lot of instances and a lot of databases deployed in the production and SQL Server farm, it's very difficult for DBAs to implement such policy. That's why we will see some of the servers, they are in the good situation, the good configuration, some of them lacking of configuration and policy compliance. And another one is the single point of execution. As I mentioned to you, that if I ask one of my clients DBA that can you give me the top 5 wait stats for each instance, suddenly they will say that that will take around maybe 7 or 8 days, because they need to keep on logging or to each instance and run the query and save the what I call they store the result set. So this is another challenge which it takes very long time for them to do it. And also database resource utilization report and monitoring, which most of them, they go for third-party software, and those one that they don't go for third-party software, they still don't know how to utilize the SSMS and SQL Server features to come out with this resource utilization report and monitoring. Okay, some of the features like these challenges that I mentioned and the resolution can be done by features. For example, single point of execution can be done by registered servers, which can support Windows and Linux SQL Server. Okay, and the other one is the database policy compliance, which is based on policy-based management, which it can cover Windows and Linux as well. The other ones, the agent jobs deployment and synchronization, can be done by multi-server administration, which is only available right now on Windows. So if you have SQL Server on Windows, you can use this this feature. But if you don't have, if let's say you have SQL Server on Linux, then you cannot apply this feature. Another one is the database resource utilization report and monitoring, which is only applicable on SQL Server on Windows at this point of time. On Linux, we don't have this management data warehouse or data collector or data collection as well. Okay, so actually it was very short slides because I'm going to show you demo and each of the features. Okay, as I believe that DBAs, they need to know how to do it. Theory, it doesn't work most of the times. Okay, I actually run few VMs. One is SQL on Linux, which is here. The other one is SQL on Windows, which I name it SQL WinSQL 01, and the other one is WinSQL 02, which is here. So I just minimize this thing. I have SSMS here. So the first option that to resolve the single point of execution is to use the register servers. So how to bring this one? You just need to click on view, then click on register servers. Then this panel will appear. So you can even register database engine, analysis services, reporting, and integration services as well. So today we are just talking about the database engine. If let's say your SQL servers are under same domain, you can use the central management servers and you can create the central management server, then you can group it. But right now I didn't install or configure the AD, Active Directory, and I didn't set up the domain controller. I'm going to use the local server groups, which is they are not under the same domain. So I just create the new group, let's say production farm. Then under this production farm, I would like to register the new server, which is win SQL 01. I just use the password, remember. Yes. Okay, good. So it's already registered. Another one I would like to win SQL 02 and the password. Remember password. Okay. And another one is the Linux SQL. Okay, good. So just imagine that in your farm you have lots of SQL Server instances. You can just add it, you can group it by whether it's production farm, UAT farm, development farm, or even testing and so on. You can group it, and even you can query single server, or you can query group of server. And let's say I want to query the top 5 weight stats on each what I call it SQL Server instance. I just need to illustrate from sysdat. For example, DMOS weight stats order by weight stats time descending. So done. So the time that one of my client mentioned, it will take 7 or 8 days. It can be done within a second. Okay. So we can get the server name here, the login that executed, and the rest of the result set, correct? So we have the Linux SQL, we have Win SQL 02, as you see is the top 5, and Win SQL 01, which is the top 5 as well. By default, you may not see the server name here. So if you would like to see it, you need to come to Tools, Option, then you need to come to here query results, then SQL Server, then multi-server result. Then you need to make this one true. If let's say you don't want to merge it, then you just make it false here, this merge result. Otherwise, by default, it will merge all the result set. If you would like to make it separate, then it will be separate batches and the result set. So it's all up to you. And what's the point of this one? For example, if I run select asterisk from sys.databases, sometimes SQL on Linux and SQL on Windows, the column that is returning is different, or even the versions that we are having is different. Okay, because every version they might change the columns, the column name, the data type, or maybe they add or remove the columns from the DMVs. So as you see here, we are having this one, which is showing the what I call it, the columns and the data from different servers. As you see here, in Windows, these two results comes from the Windows-based SQL Server. We have is mixed page allocation on, but on SQL and Linux we have is temporal history. If one of it is because the version also is different. Okay, that's why we need to separate the result set. If I go and disable this one, I enable it and I mentioned that I would like to merge it. It will throw me an error. It will mention that SQL Linux, it doesn't match the schema from responding servers and so on, because it cannot merge it. Merging is like union, select union. So once you do the select union, the columns, the data types, the column name needs to be equal, needs to be same. Okay. This is another thing that you need to consider. Okay. So we can see. So I'm sure now you get some idea how you can execute a query from single point and you retrieve from all of the servers. Okay. Another point is that we need to go. Here is the policy compliance. Let me just connect to SQL servers, password. Okay, this one is SQL 01 on Windows. Then this one SQL 02 on Windows, and I have another one which is Linux SQL. Okay, in Linux SQL, luckily we have this policy-based management, which under management we have this feature policy management, and under the SQL on Windows also we have. But unfortunately, the data collection it's only available SQL on Windows. It's not available right now on SQL on Linux. Okay, so I just want to create some policy. Okay, on SQL 01. I just go to the policy, right click new policy. I just mentioned database recovery model. Then I come here and mention new condition, recovery model. Then I would like to check the facet database. And here is the database properties, and I need to look for recovery model. Recovery model is here. And I would like to mention that it needs to be full recovery model. Okay. So once it's done, okay, then I click on OK. Then I will mention that every database, this policy needs to be executed and evaluated against every single database. Or I can put new condition, whether that database name starts with L or S or what is the version and so on, which that one will be very detailed. I just want to show you how you can use this one. Or maybe you can put some server restriction. Maybe the SQL Server version needs to be SQL 2008 and later version, or maybe specifically the server that is in production domain and so on. You can set the server restriction as well. So I just click OK. I create this policy, but from here I only can evaluate against the same server that I have. Okay, so right now there's no database. Let me create some databases. I create database. Let me create here, create database dummy DB. So it creates on each 3 servers. So once I refresh, here I have dummy DB. Once I refresh dummy DB, refresh dummy DB. So easy. If let's say you have some centralized management database, or you want to restore few databases in all the servers, then you can easily do it. So right now, let me evaluate it. So it evaluate and it mentioned that the recovery model is full, then is okay, expected and actual. Let me change the recovery model for this specific server to simple. Okay. But this one, it only evaluates against its own server, and it mentioned that expected, actual. That's fine. Now I want to evaluate this policy against all the servers. What I need to do, I just need to export it, export policy. One thing that I would like to check, is this real time? Because sometimes it lag. Okay, it seems that it's good. Okay, database recovery model. I just exported. Now I want to evaluate it against the production farm. Evaluate policies. Then I choose the source, either server or file, but file is easier. I just choose OK. Now it mentioned that this is the policy. Facet is database. Then I will say evaluated. It mentioned that it's evaluated against Linux SQL, Win SQL 01, Win SQL 02, and Linux SQL and 02 evaluated. Everything is all right except 01, and we can see here this is the recovery model expected full, but it's simple. Okay, I can just check here and apply. Some of the policies you can apply, so the SQL Server will automatically change it for you. Like apply here, yes, done. It will re-evaluate and it will check whether applying the policy will be successful or not. Then right now we have successfully changed the recovery model from simple to full recovery model. Okay, even we get it from here, name, recovery model description, you will see that except the system, it didn't change. So the dummy, full, and full here. Okay. So the policy-based management, it doesn't touch the system databases, you need to remember. Okay. So the next one that I would like to introduce you, the feature, is the agent job deployment and synchronization, which it requires to have the registered servers. For example, I would like to have this agent job. Let me create one agent job for like what, backup master. So it will take backup the master DB. It will take master DB backup master DB, then backup database master to disk like C temp master.back with init. Okay, don't take this code as your production sample or you want to use it for taking backup for any kind of databases, either user database or system database. You need to analyze your SLA, RPO, RTO, and so on. Then you can just write the code. So yeah, I just would like to inform you that don't use with init or with no init in any kind of backups. Okay, I already done it. I will put the schedule, daily basis, every 3 hours, back it up. And here is master DB backup. Okay. Now I want to duplicate this agent job and put it on this WinSQL 02. And basically what they do, those DBAs, I mean, my clients DBAs, they usually generate the script. Then after that, they run it against that specific server. Then I question them back. If let's say you are required to change the job, what will you do? Then they said, we need to change, then again, generate script, drop the job from different servers, then we recreate the job. Then I said, that's too bad because it will slow you down. So what you need to do is just enable the multi-server administration. You need to make sure one of the servers must be mastered, the others need to be target, or last time we call it master and slave. So I make this SQL 01 as master, and this one, oh shit, okay, okay, so I make this one as target, successfully done. Oh, this MSX. Okay, this MSX actually is the registry for SQL Server agent, which until now it seems that they didn't fix it. Okay, maybe not many people use it, so I need to go to register and change it. Let me skip this one because it might require more than half an hour to do it. Okay, let me skip this one. Then we go for database resource utilization report and monitoring. Sorry about this one, but that's how it works. It needs to be changed. Let me go through this management. Is the data collection set. This data collection set is actually the management data warehouse. and you can collect all the SQL Server database resource utilization and so on inside that specific master data warehouse, management data warehouse, and you can generate report. And for example, you would like to see what is your database growth within this week. Then it will show you the chart every day, how many MB it growth. Okay. To enable it, you just right click, task, configure the management data warehouse, then dummy. Oh, sorry, not dummy. It's the MDW, for example. Then MDW. And I just give the admin account. Okay. Right now we have the MDW. As you can see, the tables, the views. It will keep all the historical data regarding your database management. Then after that, what you need to do is right click, task, configure the data collection. This one, it will create some agent jobs. So let me go through one. Okay, this one requires Active Directory. So I need to go to the VM, then I need to do it. Let me check whether I have SSMS. Oops, I don't have SSMS right now. I'm sorry about this one. That's sorry, I need to install it. It's very disappointing me that. This is how you can configure it. First, you need to come here. Then you just mention what server you would like to choose for your host, which is 01. But right now I don't have the login. It only requires Active Directory to set it up. Then once it's set, then you just check this one, then next, then finish. Then it will create a lot of agent jobs to collect the data, from your SQL Server instances, and it will put it here, this MDW. And it has some schedules. Then once it's done, then you can come here, server activity history or disk usage or query stats. But again, you are required to have Active Directory. Then you can see the server activity history, the disk usage, query stats, even you can create your own customized report and also upload it there, and you will use it. So I think it will take few minutes to install this one. Let me install in this machine as well. Then maybe we can be open for some questions or something that I need to repeat it. Okay. Paresh, is it okay that we open for questions and answers? Then
Yeah, it should be great actually. A lot of people like interactivity. I don't see any questions yet.
Okay, let me check. Okay, no questions, and that's good.
You're doing good.
Or maybe I'm doing bad. Who knows? That's why they don't ask questions. Okay, actually, some of the features, they are highly dependent on the Active Directory configuration. But once your SQL Server farm has Active Directory, you can easily utilize it. It's very easy. You can even go for MSDN documentation, and every single step they already mention it there. I mean, the Microsoft documentation is very well for SQL Server. The only thing that is, I'm sure that you guys get the point, is SQL Server Management Studio is able to help you to resolve your 50 to 80% of your like management challenges. You can resolve it easily. You just need to know how to utilize it. In previous SSMS versions, we were having utility control point, okay, which that one was useful, but it was similar to management data warehouse and data collection. So Microsoft, I think they remove it, because in the latest version of SSMS, I never seen that one. Let me check the VMs. Okay, it seems that it's going to finish. Then I can show you the agent jobs, deployment, and synchronization, and at the same time, resource utilization report and monitoring as well. So how many minutes we already have?
We have 28 minutes to go. Oh, finally, there is a question. How much performance issue if you enable MDW?
Okay, the performance issue actually is very minimal, because MDW, it has schedule itself. Some of the server activities, it will retrieve it every 6 hours, and after that it will upload it. So even for collecting the information and uploading the information to the data warehouse, you can set the time. But by default, some of them is 6 hours, some of them 15 minutes, some of them 1 hour. So you need to check, because each of the agent jobs, they are collecting different set of data set and information.
Same gentleman is asking another question. Can you have your own performance metric like PLE?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, what PLE means.
What is the PLE? What's the stand for? I mean, the PLE stand for performance level agreement, or like what?
I think he should be typing that thing right now. Annaswamy, can you go ahead and tell us what PLE means for you?
Okay, I heard about the SLA for database availability management and so on, but PLE.
Page level expectation. Page life expectancy, okay.
Oh, page life expectancy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. PLE, for SQL, so I thought this from management terms. PLE, this one, it doesn't show. In management data warehouse, it doesn't show the PLE, the page lifetime expectation. It will just show about the general information, like how much CPU been used, what was the what they call it, the long running queries, what queries been run within the last 10 days, which one of them is very heavy or expensive queries, or for example, how many users connected to the SQL Server within the last week or last day or last 1 hour, and yeah, this kind of information. But those one for monitoring itself, it doesn't show it directly. Which that one you need to set another, maybe the performance monitor collector set, then you can collect it as well. And reading that one, it's not very difficult. You just need to double click on the result set, then it will show you the graph. So am I answering that PLE? I mean that PLE, the page lifetime expectation. the page life expectancy, if they are pointing at it, yeah, it doesn't show it there. They need to collect it in different way. So any other questions?
Nope, sir.
Oh, okay. It's going to finish. That's good. Okay, so I can show you the agent jobs and also the MDW. Sorry, this VM was from long time ago, so I didn't know that I didn't have the SSMS on it. So yeah, it's my bad. Sorry about that. So have you guys used these features, or you guys planning to use these features? I'm sure this single point of execution like registered server and policy-based management will help you a lot of times. It will help you. So I just would like to know whether will you guys will use it, or you will continue doing your DBA job, the daily task remain same. It will remain same as what you are doing right now.
So yes, I have used this multi-server thing. Not used as enforcing policy-based management on that. I would love to see the MDW also. I would love to have that.
That's good. That's good. So I hope that this session is informative for you guys. So any other questions? You can ask any question about SQL Server. Not limited to this session.
You're installing 17.6 here? Or
Yeah, 17.6. So it's going to finish soon. Then I can show you the okay. It seems I need to restart. That's fine.
one question in the meantime?
Yeah, sure.
From David Postlethwaite. We haven't used a registered servers because the risk of accidentally doing something nasty on every registered server. You're
Which
a
one?
DBA. You never do anything nasty. There's somebody who's asking. What he's saying is they don't use the registered servers to run queries against multiple servers because they fear that they might actually drop all the master databases somewhere.
Actually, of course, you cannot give the system administrator to everyone.
Correct.
Okay, and also you need to limit your users that they cannot perform DDL tasks. Usually DBAs that, let's say junior DBAs, it's better you don't give them full access or full rights logins. Okay, you just limit them to maybe take backup, view some DMVs and so on. That's it. So they cannot drop any database or create database, and they cannot do any modification. This is what I do and what I recommend to my clients, because new DBAs, they might not know the business value of that specific database or the table or the data as well. And maybe they, yeah, as you said, accidentally drop the table. But anyway, for those accidentally dropping tables, we have lots of other solutions, like you can have HADR, you can have disaster recovery, you can have replication. By having the proper backup strategy, you can easily recover it. But again, we need to make sure that database can have some downtime. Some production servers, production databases, they are not, they cannot afford to have downtime. So we need to make sure that the login has proper permission sets. Okay. Seems that this one is already installed. This one needs to be started. That's fine. Okay, so already connected. We have this MDW here. We have management. And data collection. This data collection, configuring data collection, is creating agent on that instance. So if let's say you want to enroll new server to this management data warehouse, you need to go and configure the data collection, this configure data collection. Once you configure this one, it will ask you what is the select a server and the database that it hosts for the management data warehouse. So what it hosts right now, this server also hosts it. Then we click MDW. Then we select for this one, then next. You will see that this is the jobs that data collector, sorry, data collection. Data collector is for performance monitor. I'm so sorry. These terms actually very similar to each other. So we have these jobs. This is the backup master job that I made. And we have data collection here. This is the disk usage, query stats, and utility. For example, I want to collect and upload. I just need to click here. And if let's say I would like to have report, then reports, management, server activity. Then it will open reporting services within the SSMS. Okay, retrieving data. But right now it doesn't have much data. It takes quite time. So you can see the historical snapshot within the times and the days. Here we have the CPU percentage utilization from what date to what date, memory usage, disk IO, and network usage. Then you can click on server weights. Then it will show us the server weight stats, what is the percentage, what is the category, and so on. Okay, and you can also go for next page, previous page, and also you can choose the dates and the duration. It's very useful to have this report, especially for management level. If let's say you guys, if all of you guys are DBAs and you are required to upgrade your server, the hardware, adding memory or adding the CPU slot, the processor, you need to have proof, and this report will give your management graphical proof, so they will understand it. They will easily understand it because I already tried with that one. I just enable it for a month, then it collect every data, then I show them, hey, you need to upgrade your server, you need to have additional memory, you need to increase the network bandwidth, and so on. Even the server activities you can check as well, connections and sessions, requests, page cache hit ratio, temp DB characteristic. Okay, so it will show all this information, but right now we just enable it, so it doesn't show it. Another thing that you can set configuration is on each item, you can go to the properties. It will show the how it will collect the data. Some of them is the CLR based collection, some of them is the T-SQL. So this one is considered as T-SQL collection. As you see, it's collecting all the DB size, log size, FT size from database files. It's just doing aggregation, and once it aggregated, it will insert into the database. And here is the upload. it will collect and upload every 6 hours. So every 6 hours it will do aggregation, then it will upload it to the server. And you can mention the return the data for this number of days, or you can return the data infinitely. So this is the configurations that you can have it. For example, the server. Here also, this one is the T-SQL based, this one is the non-T-SQL based, this one is the performance counter. Some of them also is CLR based. Okay, it's the same thing. This one is every 15 minutes, but previous one every 6 hours. Even you can create new schedule or pick different schedule. This is the schedules that already created automatically. You can choose either one, or you can manually collect and upload it. As you see that collect and upload it, it will manually do it. So what I want to do, because I want to show some graph on the report, let me while create table test ID heading binary.
So there is a question for you.
Yep. Okay.
Saying what is the difference between caching and non-caching? Something you mentioned like 2 minutes back.
Okay, the caching actually, you mean while I was creating the configuration here? Sorry, here. You are talking about this cache directory, or caching and non-caching? Which one? This cache directory, it will just collect the data locally, put it inside the temp directory. Okay. In case that it cannot connect to the MDW, so it will keep it for us. Once it's able to connect, then it will insert it. Okay. The other one that is here, non-cached, cached, and on-demand or schedule. If non-cached, it doesn't cache it anymore. So whatever we set in that, just now I mentioned the temp directory, it doesn't cache it anymore. Once it execute the query, the task, it will insert it straight away inside the MDW. The other one is cached. It will collect it, it will put inside the temp, but it will separately upload it. It doesn't upload straight away. Okay, so this is the differences. For example, you have network bandwidth issue, and during the daytime working hours, you don't want to do any additional bandwidth usage. Okay, so what you can do, you can mention I would like to cache it. So every 6 hours or every 15 minutes, it will retrieve the data, it will cache it into the temporary folder. Then after that, you can set here for upload. When do you want to upload the cache data into the MDW? So you can separate the collecting and uploading operation, the process. This is the definition of not caching, non-caching, and cache, on demand or schedule. So did they get their answer? I mean, I addressed their question.
He says yes and okay.
Okay, thank you. Let me, I would like to, okay, I create this one. Then while 1 equal 1, never use this kind of coding on your production server because it will dump your server. Insert into test default values. Okay, okay, disk usage, collect and successfully collect and upload it. This one is server activity, sorry. Okay, now you can see that dummy DB, the start size was 8 MB, then the current still 8 MB, but I need to collect and upload it. Collect and upload it. Let me refresh. Okay, now you see that 8 MB it was starting. Right now is 72 MB, and this is the log file as well. Once I click here, it goes to the DB itself. It will mention that, for example, the total space used, data file space used, transaction log, then the use of the transaction log and unused. Then you can see the whether how many percentage is the index used, unallocated data or unused. Then we can come here is the log for each of the operation, like for example log file auto growth. This is the time, the duration is milliseconds, 64 MB, and so on. And this is this space used by data files. Okay, the space used and the space reserved. This is the report which you can generate and print it out or email it to your management, and they will see it. Okay, and here also we have query stats. Let me collect it, and I show you the query stats report as well. It's very useful. It's very useful. For example, this is the queries that been run. Insert into, because it's not the costly yet. We don't have it here. Okay, so for example, this is the query that is running, and this is we can make the chart based on duration. Query 1, query 2, query 3, or the total IO as well. But the total IO here is not much. Okay, our insert also is not there. And here is the physical read. Based on the physical read, what is the queries? And logical writes. Maybe our query comes into the logical writes. It seems no, it didn't come. Now let me change the query. Let me collect. Okay, let me select asterisk from test, then test, which is very bad query, but I think it doesn't work anymore. I need to make it cross join. Some of the SQL Server databases, they are test T1 T2. Okay, this is the cross join, which it will again dump our database server. Maybe I can check with the duration.
While that is happening, there is a question as to what do you think is better, Activity Monitor or MDW?
Actually, MDW is for historical. Activity Monitor is for right now, what's happening. Okay.
It's like stethoscope.
Exactly. It's like you found the issue, you face the issue, but with Activity Monitor, you can pinpoint which user is causing the query, or which user is dumping the database server. So let's say we go to Activity Monitor, expensive queries. Our query might not come, but actually it comes here. You see that the elapsed time, the physical read, it doesn't have. Writes, it has. The logical reads, we have a lot. And we can even make it refresh time every 1 second. So you can see that it's a lot. The batch request and so on. Let me collect. Even the server activity, let me collect it. Then we see how is it. Let me enable, start this one. Oh, this one requires other set of configuration. Then go for query stats. Okay, now our query actually comes here. Total duration 76 seconds. Okay, as you see that, if I don't mistaken, wait, I think our query went to the other side. Okay, still running, but the time that it was collected, it was 76 seconds. Once we click on query itself, it will retrieve query data, that what is the average CPU time per execution millisecond and so on, and query plans, page reads, logical writes, let's say here, logical writes, so it will show me the data. And here is the query that itself. Sorry, expand it. Yep. Last time I remember I could get the execution plan. I'm not sure whether in this version I can get it or not. Here. Here also is the sample weights by application and query. This is our query, the program, the database name. This is the wait time and so on. And you can see this information, if you want to get it manually, it's very difficult. It's very difficult, I can tell you. But by this one and maybe other softwares, third-party softwares, you can get it easily. And again, I told you, you can just click, filter it. It's just a snapshot. You can also see how your database server works from the beginning until today. Any other question? Then I move to what do you call it? Another topic, which is the thing agent. But let me check whether we have time.
So, we have only 1.5 minutes now. So,
okay, maybe I can just stop it, but I will blog this one, all of it.
yes.
Then maybe I can share with you guys in future. Okay.
Yes, sir. And there is a question also: what is the difference between the server and database standard reports?
Database and server standard report. Is it you mean the report that we are making it, or some softwares that generating?
No, I think there are standard reports available here, right? At the server level and at the database level.
They have.
That's what the gentleman is asking. So.
Oh, okay. This one actually is added, is new. Okay, I didn't use this one before. But this one is actually from this current statistics. If let's say you restart your SQL Server, this one will be gone. It will be refreshed. But MDW is different. It will keep it historical. It will keep it for 2 years minimum. By default, is 2 years.
Yes, 730 days. Yes, I saw that. Correct.
Yeah, 730 days, which I think is around 2 years.
So we got to wrap it up, buddy. It's 5 o'clock now. We have to go on to the other session.
Okay, but, so this standard report is just from the current statistics data, and it doesn't have accumulative or historical data. So you cannot compare it with the day before, unless you generate every day and store it somewhere. That's the difference. And also, you say the standard database report and server report. Server is all about the server activities and so on, and the database report is all about the database itself. This is very, I mean, it's very specific. Okay, for example, like index usage statistics or physical stats, we don't have it in the server reports.
Okay, so Hamid, I must cut short. We are 1 minute over. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So thank you everyone for your time, and Hamid, as always, thank you for connecting on LinkedIn. I really appreciate that. And guys, this is Paresh Motiwala from Boston signing off. I'm sure you should be able to see these recordings pretty soon. Elizabeth, Thank you, my friend, for being up so late in the night there. And
Thank you.
see you guys soon. Take care.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Thank you.